Howdy, y'all. You got the Bulldog on the channel. One of my pet peeves is back. The old free code scan from a local parts store. And they give them a printout of most likely fixes. Now, this one was a misfire. That's it. Certain cylinder, misfire. That's the only code that showed up to them. And they gave them a printout saying it was a fuel injector. Well, I've been at this shop here for 24 years this month. 24 years. And the number of times I've had an engine misfire due to a suddenly bad fuel injector, I can count on one hand. But that printout had it as a top fix without checking anything. Now, customer said that just had a tune-up not too long ago, less than 20,000 ago. Well, it's more likely to be ignition. That's the stuff that goes out all of a sudden. There are other factors, but basically, you get it in, we check the codes, and I noticed that when I read the pamphlet that they had given her, at the bottom it said something about undocumented code or something like that. Well, that means that it has other problems, but they don't read them. Hook our diagnostic machine up to it, not a code reader, and it's page after page of codes problem that this vehicle has. We could hear it when it came in that something else was wrong. Now, it's something that it might run for quite a while. Hopefully it does. But it's something that we're seeing more and more. Matter of fact, new car owners, they like that power. They like to be able to step on it, like to get more power out of a smaller motor. And this is how you do it. You have highly engineered engines. You can mechanically change the timing of the motor hydraulically. I say mechanically. It's mechanical, but it's hydraulic that they change the timing of the motor. The actual valve timing, so they get lots of power and at the same time fuel economy. I know how it all works, but you don't save anything by having those, because they'll have to have service. Whereas another engine might run like my little Iron Duke, 300,000 miles plus. And I mean, it's rattling. I mean, it's getting to the end of its life, but who knows how long it'll last. People are buying these second-hand cars, sometimes third-hand cars. Why do the original customers get rid of them? Well, it's going to cost too much to fix. Yeah, but you're taking a $10,000, $15,000 hit. Is it going to cost that much to fix it? No. But that's what they think. And the cars that are getting replaced, they need work. They need $2,000, $3,000 worth of work. Well, be careful, because the car you're buying might need $2,000, $3,000 worth of work shortly. This one turned out what I assumed right off the bat. Said it had a tune-up recently. Okay. most likely it's going to be an ignition coil. Guess what? I was afraid to see in there, and I look, and the intake's sitting over top. And I checked the time in the book, and the book says you have to pull the intake to get to this ignition coil. Extra hour of work. Well, I get in there and I get it finagled around, and I was able to get that coil out without pulling the intake. Pull the plug out, and it's covered with fuel. Now I figure it's going to be a coil. Took the plug over there and sandblasted all the fuel off of it, dried it off, blew all the sand off of it, put it back in, tested the output of the coil. It had 2100 volts. That's barely enough to tickle you hard. It should have over 30,000 volts. So there's another problem with the vehicle. It shows up whenever she fills with fuel. It tends to try to flood the motor. And it did it one too many times. It fouled that plug out with fuel, and that coil was bad, so it could not burn through the fuel. Even driving it over here, if it was going to clean up, it would have cleaned up out on the highway, but it wouldn't do it. So, put a new coil on it, fired it up, ran all 6, cleared the codes out, the pages and pages of codes that were in the vehicle. Took it out for test drive, come back, rechecked the codes, and some of them came back. So we'll talk to them about it when they get here. But it's not going to get fixed. It costs too much. So like, comment, subscribe, hit your little bell notification, share it around. We'll talk to you later.